Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Wednesday, September 25th, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with more news pertaining to the new Vince McMahon documentary series that premieres today on Netflix. The former WWE chairman has ceased working with the public relations firm Citric & Company, according to an exclusive report yesterday from Post Wrestling. The parting of ways comes after 5 months of being represented by the firm and right before the debut of the new series entitled Mr. McMahon, which is expected to explore many of the accusations against McMahon, including charges of sexual abuse and trafficking from former WWE paralegal Janelle Grant. It was also reported by the news site Puck that McMahon tried to buy the docuseries from Netflix in order to bury it, and also asked Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel to intervene on his behalf, but Netflix refused to let it go. NXT aired live last night for the final time on USA Network from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. The program closed with an in-ring press conference between NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez and her challenger for next week's show, Julia. The segment came to an end with Stephanie Vaquer appearing on the video screen and issuing a challenge to the winner.
I am Stephanie Vaquer. My question is, what are you going to do when you had me waiting on the other side of your NXT Women's Championship match?
Booker, the best women in the world are lining up for the NXT Women's title. Light a match, because NXT is about to cook on the CW.
At different points during the show, CM Punk crossed paths with the two men whose title match he'll referee next week, NXT champion Ethan Page and Trick Williams.
I watched you start at the bottom. I watched you win the title. I watched you lose the title. But you're still in the championship mix. I'm proud of you. You should be proud of yourself.
Hey, coming from you, I appreciate that.
But listen, I know he's going to try to cheat. That's why I'm the special guest referee. I'm not letting him cheat. I'm not letting you cheat. I'm not saying you're gonna. That's not your style. I know that. But I'm in the ring to make sure the best man to lead NXT into the CW future wins the match. Now, we know that could be you. You've done it before. I kind of hope it is you, but I'm not going to lean that way. There will be no favors given.
During the final match of the night, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory defeated Javon Evans and Cedric Alexander when outside interference from NXT Tag Team Champions Axiom and Nathan Frazier backfired.
Alexander, though, remember, was wiped out. Evans by himself.
Bounce.
Evans looking to fly an Axiom, getting to Frazier. Oh! And I think inadvertently, Frazier just wiped out Javon Evans. I don't think the official saw what was going on. Tag was made. Austin Theory's now legal. Oh, not like this, Booker. A-Town Down Under sending a message to the NXT Tag Team Champions.
Earlier in the night, Waller and Theory had attacked Axiom and Frazier during the Grayson Waller Effect talk show segment. Kalani Jordan opened the program by retaining the women's North American title over Ren Sinclair. In other results, Oro Mensah pinned Lexis King by using the ropes for leverage. Hank Walker and Tank Ledger defeated Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Ridge Holland beat Riley Osborne. And the team of Wendy Chu and Rosemary downed Brynlee Reese and Carmen Petrovich when Petrovich became distracted by Ashante the Adonis at ringside. In other segments, Wes Lee and Zachary Wentz got into a brawl backstage. NXT General Manager Ava made a tag team match between Lola Vice and Jada Parker against Fatal Influence for next week, and a video package of Tony D'Angelo played showing D'Angelo training for his match on October 9th against North American champion Obafemi. A highlight package also played to celebrate NXT's time on the USA Network. After 5 years on the cable channel, next Tuesday, the show moves to broadcast television on the CW network. And in ratings news, this past Monday night's Raw on USA Network drew an average of 1.339 million viewers according to Programming Insider. That's down 11.2% from last week's audience of 1.509 million. The 18 to 49-year-old demographic also declined, falling 12.2% and finishing at a .43 rating. Raw faced head-to-head competition from two National Football League games, which combined for 19.2 million viewers. According to WrestleNomics, this is the second lowest total viewership for a first-run Raw in the show's history. Last year's episode on September 18th, also against two NFL games, marked Raw's low water mark with 1.331 million tuning in. Also, last Saturday's airing of AEW Collision drew 347,000 viewers to TNT, according to WrestleNomics. That number is up over 29% from the September 14th edition of the program, which set a record low for viewership. The number in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic was up 50%, finishing at a .12. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.